Some things are impossible to know, but it is impossible to know these things.
Hello, good day, and welcome to
Paul Schindler, podcast on things is here for you.
Not surprisingly, I'm your host, Paul Schindler. Thank you for listening. This popped up in my inbox. Since almost all attribution on Facebook is garbage, let's just call it anonymous. A devotee asked his guru, what is it about food? Everyone on this course is into some diet, the Zen macrobiotic diet, the mucusless diet, the brag diet, the raw food diet. How important is food really? The guru made him a warm cup of tea and gave this advice. Bronze food, what you eat physically. Food matters, of course. You are what you eat, but if you eat some bad food, it's gone from your system in 2 or 3 days. Silver food, what you consume through your senses. That's a deeper kind of food and not so easy to get out of your system. What you take in through your senses, what you hear, see, read, and watch. Books, news, movies, all of it. This feeds your mind and heart, shapes your thoughts and emotions, and becomes your conditioning and subconscious. If it's negative, it can lurk unseen and take years to release. Gold food, the company you keep. But the most important kind of food, your friends. The company you keep has the biggest influence on your life. And the funny thing is, if you hang around with low people, you won't bring them up, but they'll bring you down. In India, we have a word, satsang. Satsang means gathering in the company of the wise, seeking the company of the enlightened, and, if none are around, keeping the company of fellow seekers, uplifting each other, protecting and keeping each other on the path together. Do you have a gold food strategy? Moving from Typepad to WordPress. My blog is a big part of my legacy. I almost lost all 6,000 of my Typepad posts, amounting to 1 million words, but they were saved. I learned 2 things many years ago. 90% of what you file you will never touch or need again. The trick is figuring out how to access and retain the other 10%. I also learned that the value of information is inversely proportional to its age. True, but at the same time an insufferable load of codswallop. Once something has been posted on the internet, it lives virtually forever, one way or the other. I like the BBC motto, to inform and entertain. If one of my old posts brings a smile or a piece of knowledge to a single person, it will all have been worth it. I still want them to be able to find it. My blog is in its 5th iteration. Ergo, the tech, hand-built HTML, Typepad, and now WordPress. Wayfinding. There is a whole art or science called wayfinding. One branch is creation of signage that actually helps people get where they're going. I learned of wayfinding from a fantastic article in the New Yorker years ago. I agree with the author that the world's worst signage is in New York City at Penn Station. Some places get it right, some places get it wrong. For example, many "You Are Here" signs are incomprehensible. Among things that really help wayfinding are color coding and signs along the way that reassure you you're going in the correct direction. Consistency helps too. I'm near a giant hospital campus where the buildings are all named and the street signs all refer only to building numbers. You'll never find the Sierra building unless you know it's building 6. The conversion table is on one sign in the middle of nowhere, and there are no signs pointing to that sign. How hard is it to make street signs that say both Building 6 and Sierra? It might require bigger signs, yes. It might provide more clarity, also yes. It makes you wonder what their priorities are. Here's some internet humor from January 1999. How to annoy people. Leave the copy machine set to 99 copies, reduce 200%, extra dark, and 17-inch paper. In the memo field of all your Venmos, write terrible service. Specify that your drive-through order is to go. If you have a glass eye, tap on it occasionally with your pen while talking to others. Stomp on little plastic ketchup packets. Insist on keeping your car windshield wipers running in all weather to keep them tuned up. And now, from my college days, here's an excerpt from the first episode of the new Eugene, Oregon show.
The Eugene, Oregon show, take one.
They're small.
And now, direct from Radio City off Kendall Square in Cambridge, USA, it's the new Eugene, Oregon show. With Gene's guests, Calvin Coolidge, Greta Garbo, and special guest star, Minerva Urical. Brought to you tonight by Vatican City, your one-stop religion headquarters, and McDonald's Bordello, over 8 billion served. Now, here he is, syndicated columnist for the Cambridge Daily Reamer, Gene Oregon.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to both of you for being in the audience here tonight for the first show of the Eugene, Oregon show. And I want to talk to you about doctors tonight. I went to see my doctor the other day, and he tested me for a few allergies. The last test was a real Lulu. He strapped a burning match to my chin, and when my skin started to blister, he told me I was allergic to fire. Actually, I told him that it hurt when I moved my arm like this, so he said, "Don't do that." I've had every disease in the book. Unfortunately, the book that I'm talking about is Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex, but Were Afraid to Ask.
This week's walk-off music is Words of Love. It has the added charm of being true. I felt that the words of love I used every morning were becoming trite from repetition. I used the foreign words for a while, then made them to us. I'm sorry, I'll read that again. I used the foreign words for a while, then made them into a song, Words of Love.
It's really hard to find new ways to say I love you every day. Same words on a daily basis seem to mean not love but stasis. English words I do adore, but I wish they offered more. Ways in which I could express the love I feel, I must confess. Yes, I find it really tough coming up with words enough. I could say je t'aime, but gee, would I pronounce it painfully? Te quiero is the Spanish phrase, but would it set your heart ablaze? Would I win your love medallion with Ti amo in Italian? If I said jag älskar dig, in Swedish would you zag or zig? Yes, I find it really tough coming up with words enough. Ich liebe dich are words I know I could pronounce, but even so, these words in German said with zeal are not soft but hard as steel. If I just have my way, I'd invent new words to say, something novel that would show the love I feel I must bestow. Yes, I find it really tough coming